Hello, majors. So we are going to continue with our videos. I got some really good feedback back from you guys. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to comment below on our Google Classroom. So just kind of to go back, this warm up right here, we should have already done, or we will be doing together as a class. So this will be filled out. But moving on to the video portion of it, we're going to pick up right here where it says adding and subtracting polynomials. We're just going to do a quick demonstration just to kind of refresh our brain and how we did the polynomials, adding and subtracting, and then we're going to move along. So the first thing I want to look at is I want to look at, since we're adding, putting this into standard form. So we're going to look at our degrees right here and see which one has the highest degree and start from there. So I see right here that this is 3k to the third degree. I'm going to cross that out. Then I have a negative 2k to the third degree, and I'll cross that out. Then I have a positive 6 plus 6 to the second degree, cross that out. And then a negative 4k to the second degree. And then I have my positive 8 and negative 3. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cross those out too. This just indicates to me that I put everything in standard form and I used all of the terms that are here. All right, so it looks like we can combine these. We can combine these. So we're combining like terms, and we can combine these. Okay. So I have a positive 3k and a negative 2k, both of them raised to the third degree. So that's going to leave me with a k to the third degree, which is the same thing as saying 1k, okay? And I have a positive 6k to the second degree and a negative 4k to the second degree. Remember, we're combining like terms. So that's going to give me a positive 2k to the second degree. And then I have a positive 8 and a negative 3. So if I have a positive 8 and a negative 3, if I have $8 but I owe someone $3, I have $5 left over. And so this is your answer, okay? We're going to work on a subtraction one. So remember, when you're subtracting, what we do is we take our negative sign and we distribute. So we distribute the negative sign that we have right over here. Just follow me as I do it. All of this should be on your paper. And I'm going to rewrite this over here. So if I distribute my negative sign, that's going to give me a negative 5y, right, with this to the second degree, minus 8v to the fourth degree, plus 2. So at this point, we can kind of scratch all this out right here. Because right now, we're looking at this. All right, so we're going to put this in standard form as well. So we're going to look at our like terms. Where are our like terms? So it looks like we have a 7v to the second degree minus, oh, wait, guess what? Ms. Hamblin made a mistake. She made a mistake. So let's go back. Let's try this again. I was trying to put my y to the second degree as first, but as you can see, there are v's to the fourth power. Those are our highest degrees. So now I need to go back and correct it and make my mistake right. So I'm going to start off with my 6v to the fourth degree minus my 8v to the fourth degree. So I use that and I use that, right? Now I have my, okay, this right here should be a v, not a y. So now I have my, I'll have to scratch that out again. So now I have my 7v to the second degree and my negative 5v to the second degree. So I'm going to cross those out. And then I have a negative 5 and a positive 2. And I'm going to go ahead and cross those out as well. Okay, so now we're going to combine our like terms and what we have. So we're going to combine these two, we can combine these two, and we can combine these two. So these are like terms. So if I have a positive 6 and a negative 8. If you guys want to put it in the calculator, it's going to look like this. It's going to look like 6 plus negative 8, which is going to give you, what is that going to give you? It's going to give you a negative 2v to the 4th, okay? So the answer would be negative 2. So now I have a positive 7 and a negative 5. So if I have $7, but I gave away 5 of those $7, that's going to give me a positive 3e to the second degree, okay? And then I have a negative 5 and a positive 2. So if I owe someone $5, negative sign, right? But I was able to pay them back $2, how much do I owe them? So I still owe them a negative 3. And so here's our answer right here. All right. So what I'd like for you to do is, just to kind of refresh your memory, I'd like you to complete number 3 and number 4. So number 3 and number 4 should be completed. All right. Anything below 3 and 4, this is going to be considered to be like extra credit work. All right. So this is just a quick review of, oh, I'm sorry. Let me erase that. Let me give you one with a negative sign. Which one has a negative sign? So let's erase this. So let's do 3 and 5. Let's do 3 and 5 because you need one with a negative and a positive. Okay? Wonderful. So guess what, friends? We get to move along, and we are now going to be working on multiplying polynomials. How exciting. I know how much you guys love math, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is, so a monomial times a polynomial. So we're going to be multiplying by distributing the monomial to the polynomial. Monomial to the polynomial, sorry. So we're going to take this x and we're going to distribute it over here to the 2x, and take this x over here and distribute it to the 8. Okay? So if we do that, then we're going to get a 2x to the second degree plus 8x. Now remember, we're multiplying. We're multiplying. Okay? So we're going to do the same thing here. For number 2, we have a 2a, and then in parentheses, we have a 4a minus 3b. Anytime we have something in parentheses, it's going to be, we're going to be distributing. So that means we're going to distribute the 2a, right, to both of the terms inside of the parentheses. So that's going to give me an 8a to the second degree minus 6ab. All right? So we're going to move on down here, and we're going to do the same thing here. So here we have a negative 9x, and we're going to distribute that negative 9x all the way across the board. All right? So a negative 9x times a 3x to the second degree is going to be a negative 27x to the third degree. Now the reason why I say this is, remember, when you multiply and they have the same base, so we're no longer adding or subtracting polynomials, but if you remember from Unit 8, right, when we're multiplying and they have the same base, right, when we were doing exponents, so this is an x and this is also an x, right, you're going to be adding together your exponents. So this is a 2, and remember there's like an invisible 1 that's here. So 9 times a negative 9 times 3 is a negative what? 27. But then there's the same base. So look. So we have x, and we're adding the exponents, right? So this is a 1 and this is a 2, which gave us 3, okay? Plus, now we're going to do the same thing here. A negative 9x times a positive 6x, which is going to give me a not negative, I mean not positive, but a negative 54x to the second degree. Remember, a negative 9 times positive 6 gives you 54. They're the same base. The x's are the same base. So that means that it's now going to be x to the second degree, or the second power. And then lastly, we're going to distribute the negative 9x to the negative 4, which is going to give us a positive. You got to be mindful of your signs. So a 9 times 4 is 36, and then we have our x. Okay? So this is our answer right here. So now we're going to work on a binomial times a binomial. So we're going to use the FOIL method or box method. Right here it says distribution. I'll touch on the FOIL method, but right now we're going to focus on the distribution method and the box method. I like those methods. I think they will work best for you. Now we're going to use this right here that they've given us. Okay, so they've given us this right here. So the distribution method. The distribution method means that we're going to take x plus 7, x minus 2, and we're going to distribute. Okay? So we're going to take this right here, and you take the first term right here in parentheses. Okay? Let me see if I can highlight here. So we're going to take the first terms in parentheses. Oh, no, it's not going to let me do that. Anyway, so you're going to take your x here, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to put the x in front of your second term, x minus 2, okay? Then you're going to put your second term, or the second part of your first term, your 7, and put it in front of this term right here. So x minus 2. You guys see what I did? This was x plus 7. So you're taking your first term and you're splitting it up. So your x is going to be distributed to this, but then your 7 is going to be distributed to this term. So x is going to be distributed, and your 7 is going to be distributed. Okay? So when I do that, x times x is going to give me x to the second degree, and then it's going to give me a negative 2x. Okay? And then 7 times x is going to give me a positive 7x, and 7 times a negative 2 is going to give me a negative 14. Now we have to look at what we have here and see if there's anything that we can combine. And we can combine because we have like terms. So the 2x and the 7x can be combined. Okay? So what we're going to do is rewrite this. I'm going to rewrite it right here. So then we have x to the second degree. I have a negative 2x and a positive 7x, which is going to give me a positive 5x minus 14. And this is our answer. So this is how you use the distribution method. When you're doing when you're multiplying a binomial times a binomial. Now the box method is a little bit different. I'm going to use a different color. Give me a second. I'll use blue. So the box method, remember, we're still using this right here. X plus 7, x minus 2. So we're going to draw a little box over here. So draw a square. Okay, my square is not going to look too cool. Don't judge me. Okay. So we have a little square over there. All right. So at the top of the square, I want you to write x plus 7. So I want you to write x and then 7. So we know that's a positive 7. Now on the bottom, I want you to write x and negative 2. And then what we're going to do is we're going to multiply. So you're going to multiply x times x, which is going to give you what? X squared. Then you're going to multiply x times 7, which is going to give you 7x. Then you're going to multiply x times negative 2, which is going to be a negative 2x. Then you're going to multiply your negative 2 times your 7, which is going to give you a negative 14. Now, when you're using the box method, what you're going to do is you are going to then multiply these two, oh, I'm sorry, you're going to combine like terms with these two right here. So these two boxes right here, you're going to add them together, and you're going to combine them. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take your x right here, x squared. Then you look at these two boxes and you combine your like terms. So I have a negative 2x and I have a 7x, which is going to give me a what? A positive 5x. And then I'm going to take my last term down here and negative 14. And as you can see, I got the same exact answer as I did up here. Okay? So these are just two different strategies that you can use to get the same answer. Some of you guys may really love using distribution. Some of you guys may really love using the box method. Either which way, it doesn't matter which one you choose. We'll be using both of them so that you guys are comfortable using both of them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply these, okay? So we're going to work on number 4. Let's see if we can work on number 4 here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to underline this right here. We're going to use a distribution method. Let's use that first. I underline this because this is what we're going to be distributing to the x plus 3. So let me get another color here. All right. So I take my first one, which is my x, and I do x, and then I take this whole thing times x plus 3. Then I take my 7 here and multiply it times my whole thing. So then I do 7x plus 3. So now I get to distribute my x's. Okay, now I get to distribute my 7s. Wonderful. So now this right here is going to be x squared plus 3x. So x times a positive 3 is 3x. And then I have a 7 and an x, so that's going to be plus 7x. And then 7 times a positive 3 is going to give me a positive 21. Now it's important to look at which of these can be combined. Do we have anything here that has like terms? And lo and behold, we do. We have a 3x, a positive 3x, and a positive 7x, which we can combine together. So we're going to rewrite this for the final answer in expanded form. So 7x plus 3x is going to give me a positive 10x plus 21. And that is our answer. Okay? We're going to use the same thing here. So I'm going to underline. We're going to be distributing this x and the positive 8 to this x minus 6. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my x, and I'm going to distribute it to x minus 6. Then I'm going to take this positive 8, and I'm going to distribute it to x minus 6. Okay? So let me distribute that. Go along here. Wonderful. Okay? So x times x is going to be x squared, or x to the second degree. And then you have an x times a negative 6, so then you have a negative 6x. Then you have 8 times x, so that's going to be a positive 8x, and then 8 times a negative 6, which is going to give me a negative 48. Now I have to look to see if there's any like terms that I can combine, and I can. I can combine my negative 6x and my positive 8x. All right? So that is going to give me, if I write it, my final answer in expanded form, that is going to give me a positive 2x minus 48. And this is my final answer. All right? So now we're going to move along. So for these next 4 questions, I'm going to use the box method. So that way you guys can get used to using the box method. But before I do that, I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to give you guys a break, and then we'll pick up with the next video.